Hello and welcome to this video. We are all well aware that work does not happen only from our desks anymore. Being able to stay on top of what is going on by conveniently following events on our mobile devices is a must-have feature for any software application that includes some sort of collaboration. Confluence is no different, and there are many things you can do using the free Confluence app by Atlassian. In this video, I will walk you through all features of the iOS Confluence app. However, Android app is very similar, so if you are an Android user, everything you see in the video is fully applicable to your device. After watching the video, you will have a full understanding of how to use the Confluence mobile app, what you can do with it and what you cannot, and how you can get the most out of it. Enjoy the video. The first time you use the app, you will be asked to log into your Confluence site. Once you do it successfully, your credentials will be stored and you will not have to do it again next time. Actually, if you are using the same credentials for several Confluence sites, you can switch between sites without leaving the app. The app's primary purpose is to enable collaboration on the content regardless of where a user is. Therefore, as expected, a lot of administrative functionality is not included in the app. But that is not a deficiency in any way. It is actually a benefit as the app is leaner and simpler to use. There are 4 main sections in the app, and links to them are placed at the bottom of the screen. Those are Your Work, where you will see all content you recently visited for either editing or just reading, and the list of content you have bookmarked. Spaces, which is a list of all Confluence spaces you have permissions to access. Activity, where you can see all recent activity across all spaces by all users. And Notifications, which is a list of recent notifications explicitly directed to you, such as alert that someone shared the page with you or that you have been mentioned in someone's comment. Let's start with your work screen. Here in the first tab, the Visited tab, I can easily access pages I visited recently. They are sorted chronologically, starting from the most recent. Of course, tapping on the page will open the page for reading or editing, but we will cover that page screen later. The next tab is Worked On, which contains the list of pages I did some edits or comments. They are also sorted chronologically, starting from the most recent. The last tab on this screen is the Saved tab, where you will see all pages that you have bookmarked using the star icon either in the app or in a web browser. Moving on to the Spaces screen. It contains a list of all your spaces, either because you have created them or you have access to them. It has spaces you starred at the top and the rest of them below. You can star and unstar a space by going to the Edit mode here. Tapping on a space will open it, and you will see a list of pages that belong to that space. You can also turn on and off watching of that particular space, and of course you can open any page for reading or editing. The next one is the Activity screen, where you can see chronologically everything that has recently happened across the Confluence instance. You can see who and when was reading or creating content, commenting something, etc. If there is too much information, which is very likely on a busy Confluence instance, you can filter this list by a specific space. And if something catches your attention, you can tap on it to access that page. The last of the 4 main screens is the Notification screen, where you can see all alerts collected from page watches, shares, mentions, and tasks. If your Confluence site is linked to a Jira application like Jira Software or Jira Service Desk, you will also see notifications from your Jira application. You will receive notifications every time one of the following things happens. Someone shares a page with you, someone mentions you in a page, comment, or task, someone comments on a page that you are watching, or someone likes a page that you're watching. Before emerging into reading and editing pages in the app, let's look at the things at the top of the screen. In the top left corner is the user settings icon, and when you tap on it, a screen will open up where you can configure several settings. The screen's most important feature is switching between different Confluence sites here and the logout command down at the bottom. Other options are turning on and off push notifications, choosing the theme of how Confluence app looks like, turning on and off the auto log feature, switching between new and old page viewing experience, and turning on and off sending feedback to Atlassian. On the right side of the top bar is the button with the magnifying glass icon. That is the search button, and when you tap on it, you will arrive on the search screen. Before you even start searching, you are offered to use two lists of recent things. List of recent searches, and if you need to repeat one of them, you don't need to type the search term in the search box. You can just tap on the term in the list. And the list of recently found items, which are the documents that were recently included in your search results and you have decided to open them. Need one from the list? Just tap on it to open. If you still need to do a new search, start typing the search term in the search box. The results will refresh as you type. There is only one type of filter available, and that is Confluence Space. You can select a specific space from the list, and search results will be limited to documents from that space. Tapping on a page in the search results will open that page for reading. As you scroll through the page, you will notice a couple of tools at the bottom of it. The sharing icon is at the left, and tapping on it opens standard iOS sharing options. Next to the sharing button is the comment text box where you can add comments. Once you do that, comments will show at the bottom of the page. Besides adding new ones, you can also reply to existing comments. To the far right at the bottom is the icon to like or unlike the page. Some of that functionality is duplicated in the Page Actions button in the top right corner. Share and like are exactly the same commands as at the bottom of the page. On top of those, here you have options to save for later, which is actually the same as starring and unstarring in the web version. You can also turn on and off watching the page, which will enable or disable notifications whenever something happens to the page. And you can also create a new page. Next to the Page Actions button is the Edit button, which will take you into edit mode where you can make modifications to this page. Editing features are limited compared to what you can do in the web version, primarily when it comes to using macros and tables. Let's go through the editing and formatting features that are available. You can apply standard Confluence text styles and font styles such as bold, italic, underlined, colors, either to selected text or to a new text you will be typing after setting a style. Some of the font switches are available both in the edit screen and in the style pop-up. The button on the left side with the plus icon opens up the insert pop-up from which you can insert a subset of features available in the web version, plus some of the phone-specific features like taking a photo or a video. Other options include inserting an image from the gallery, inserting a file, and action macro, which is really a checkbox, code block, decision macro, quote, and info panel with no additional styling options. At the top of the screen are undo and redo buttons and the lock button, which opens a limited set of options to adjust permissions. Exactly the same permissions options are available under the Page Actions button over here. Once editing is complete, a page can be published using the Publish button. But if you're not ready to publish, there is a significant difference from the web version. If you make edits and close the page without publishing, your changes will be lost. Changes are not saved in the background, and you cannot save your draft version and continue later. If you are a regular Confluence user, you probably noticed that quite a few other things are missing besides table and macros. For example, there is no versioning at all. Templates are nowhere to be found, and that is not the end of the missing list. But as we said at the start, this app is not an alternative to fully replace Web Confluence with all its features, and it was never meant to be. Its purpose is to enable collaboration on content by allowing users to view content, provide comments, get alerted as needed, and do some basic edits. And that is exactly what the app can do quite successfully. We have not covered the creation of new pages. It is quite simple. In any of the four main screens, there is a plus icon in the top right corner. Clicking on it creates a new page, and you are placed straight in the edit mode. You can start writing content, and when you are done with editing, you can publish the page using the Publish button, as we already discussed. But if you are not ready to publish, changes will be lost as they are not saved in the background. If you're working on the new page, you have a workaround to limit page access to yourself and then keep publishing the page to save your changes. That way, you can incrementally work on the page and publish it when ready. However, that is not as smooth experience as creating new content in the web version. The bottom line is that the Confluence app should not be a primary tool for content creation or management, but it is perfectly fine tool for collaboration on the content. Thank you for watching the video.